Welcome back to Comics, to Hot Comics TV, and the Guide to Fantasy Art Techniques by Martin Dean. Where did you get that idea? Alright, so this book is pretty awesome because it's got like a collection of artists that I have a lot of respect for and a lot of love for. So let's take a look. Oh my god, Jim Burns. Look at this work. That's outstanding art, science fiction art. I remember seeing Jim's art originally on video game packaging, and that's my memory from this man. Which, when I first saw this work, I was absolutely shocked and delighted at how awesome this work was, and being in absolute envy of how to do this sort of work. Oh my god. Alright, let's take a look. So, alright, so so Jimmy, he wow, so that's back in the day. What year is this book from? I know that this book was in my possession because I think this is one of my dad's old books. I dare to say that. I think my dad was the one that purchased this. Doesn't say what year this was published. Alright. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, the process of this man, it's quite outstanding. Let's take a look. Closer look to it. This is what I live for this type of detail material. And if I had been the editor, I would have put all this text, compress it a little bit smaller, and I would have made this the emphasis of the pages. Obviously, Jim deserves to have his portrait, but I would have focused on the process of the work. See, there's a lot of empty space here that these images could have been amplified. He's working out a reference, as you can sort of tell, and that's what the beauty out of this is that he's sort of implementing all those techniques on this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. I dare to say that this is mixed media, but he's doing a lot of airbrushing to achieve those metallic surfaces. This is the original conception of this art, and then this, I think, the final. But as you can tell, he's outstanding at the method that he's doing his work. He's obviously using references I just mentioned to achieve correct realism. Yeah, that's a well-known science fiction cover, a spaceport. Yeah, beautiful work. When I remember being a kid and seeing this and being, how did he do that? Like, just the glare of that. So that's the spread of that book. Let's take a look at that. That's awesome work. Beautiful work. Ian Miller, right. So I think Ian worked... He's a commercial illustrator that worked for... Ralph Bakshi. He did stage back art for Wizards. I think that's what he did. Did some of that. He does these mechanical monsters and fish and creatures, and I think that's the artwork that was applied for Wizards. When you see that movie by Ralph Bakshi, you see that some of these backdrops so well labored, and that's a beautiful work from this man. I cannot remember Patrick Woodroffe. That's beautiful illustrations. I'm pretty sure he's done a lot of packaging stuff that I'm not aware of, but it's so intricate, these material. Like, that's the process. It's just outstanding. Whoa. What an outstanding labor of work. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful illustrations. Outstanding. Yeah, a lot of these gentlemen would be working on commercial illustration for book illustrations and, you know, production work for film. Philip Castle. So, yeah, I remember these gentlemen as well. So, he does beautiful airbrush art. This is some of his sketch art. That's beautiful stuff to see this. And reference. Always working at a reference. See, this is what I say to nauseam to everybody. If you want to get to, you know, the detail of the work, you're going to have to use reference. Yeah, that's the sort of scene, sort of material that he does, airbrushing. Pontiac, right? Yeah, look at this. Outstanding material. Obviously working at a reference, but just outstanding, beautiful airbrush art. Anybody that uses airbrush illustration in an analog sort of format, I would always give so much praise to that. Beautiful work. Yeah, outstanding pinup art. Syd Mead. Okay, so Syd is a well-regarded industrial designer. That's his background. And in industrial, you learn how to do like the construction of things as well, as much as you're going to be illustrating and doing the direction of how things are going to be constructed. So you do a lot of conceptual art like he's doing in this. He was hired to do the set and art direction of Blade Runner, amongst many other films, but that's definitely one of the highlights Syd Mead has done. And this is some of his process, and this is the stuff that I value so much, because you can sort of see how he's been progressing on the illustration to absolute completion. Beautiful material there. Yeah, every time I see stuff like this, I'm like, I could spend hours just staring at it. Outstanding work. So this is how he builds it up. It's all acrylic, and then he finishes it off to do the highlights. That's how illustration was done back in the day. None of these digital shenanigans that we're doing nowadays. So this is stage background design. This is from Blade Runner. Let's take a look at the car. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful material. Oh yeah. Concept designs for Blade Runner. Beautiful stuff. Very iconic. So he was doing illustration material for National Geographic as well. So magazine work, you know. Chris Foss, outstanding again. Chris Foss was one of the artists that Jodorowsky got for Dune to do Dune the movie. So he was tasked to do the spaceships. So when you see those outstanding spaceships for Dune, the movie that never happened, he was the one that came in. And also for the Nostromo, for Alien, the production of Alien, the book, he was working on that. Beautiful work. Spaceships. So beautifully airbrush acrylic illustrations. Just outstanding material. I love this so much. To see the small people next to the gigantic robot, that's so cool. Yeah, Martin Bower, again, another production guy that would do work for film. But his work, his labor is a little bit different because he's constructing these things. And that's a total different skill set. I mean, can you imagine his workshop where he builds this at? Just outstanding. Just outstanding sculpture. This is what you would call sculpture design or sculpture art. There they are doing some film, I mean, some set for some film, laboring away. I love this sort of thing, these sort of materials. Just so cool. What are the worlds? Nice. Yeah. And that's the other thing, that they weather down the sculpture to make it look like it's being aged. Give it that extra realism. Nice. And Boris Vallejo. Boris comes from, I dare to say, South America. Yeah, Peru, that's right. But he's been in the American market for a long time. I mean, these works are from '82, and these are pencil works. I mean, the way that this man labors is just outstanding. I mean, obviously he's been using reference for a long time to be able to get to that level of just coming in. Because I seen him sitting down and just laboring away with pencil, and his pencil work is so skillful. As well, he's a double threat because he knows how to paint. And all of these are, what do you call it, oil illustrations. So, yeah. He brings a total level of detail and realism. So, it's beautiful. Yeah, Boris. So how he builds shape, I've seen him that he does these dashes, like you can sort of see that construction of pencil there, and that's how he builds the shape. As you can sort of see on the shape here of the rock where the man's standing, that's how he builds all that. But again, he's using reference to get to this level of detail. You would have to be using reference, and there's something to be said. The more detail that you bring into the illustration, and the more photographically realistic the image might be, the more rigid it will become. But that's something that Boris is not really suffering off, because they look like dynamic images and paintings. So yeah, beautiful work. Boris in the 80s Boris is probably my favorite period from Boris Vallejo. Anyway, sadly this book is falling apart. But yeah. Alright, there it is, the Guide of Fantasy Art Techniques. Now you know it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and all those good things. I appreciate everybody coming in and subscribing. Very thankful. Every single one of you are the best and amazing. Thank you so much. You have a lovely day. Take care. Bye-bye.